If you want to know why your online coaching business isn't growing, then you need to watch this video. So I've been chatting with some clients over the last couple of days and the last couple of weeks, trying to find out why they are struggling to get wheels in motion with their online coaching business. Now, obviously, me being the coach, I'm going to do some diagnosing. So I'm going to ask all the questions I need to ask to ultimately get, I guess you could call, a pulse check on their business. So what I like to do is I like to ask about how consistent they are being with their content, how consistent they're being with their paid advertising. Essentially, I want to find out and see if they are doing all of the necessary inputs and actions on a daily and weekly basis to ensure that the business is actually moving forward, because that's generally the most common thing that a lot of coaches are not doing, is they're just simply not doing the work. Now, the funny thing is with a lot of these clients who I've been speaking to, they to some degree have been ticking a lot of those boxes, or let's say loosely ticking those boxes. And what I mean by loosely is like they're not being overly consistent with things. But the interesting thing that I've noticed that's a super common trend with a lot of coaches, and this is something that I definitely struggled with for many years when getting started in my online coaching business as well. And if I'm being completely honest with you, sometimes I still struggle with this now. And it's like, the interesting thing is that a lot of these coaches, including myself back when I was getting started, have the system. They have the perfect system to do things. They have it. You could say they have the skills, they have the equipment, they have the system, they have all of the necessary things that they need to ultimately be successful in their coaching business, which then makes you wonder, you're like, well, why the fuck are these coaches not making $5, $10, $15, heck, $20,000 a month? Like, it really makes you wonder, like, if these coaches have all of the right things there available and ready for them to use, why are they not making the money? So obviously, me being me as the coach, the mentor, the leader, whatever you want to call it, obviously I do more digging. I want to get to the bottom of like, what is the actual root cause of these coaches not being as successful as they could be? Because the funny thing is a lot of the ones who I'm talking about specifically now, they generally have wheels in motion a little bit, but it's super clunky. It's just not flowing like it really could be. So it's like, well, why aren't they being consistent, and why aren't they scaling and making more money than they ultimately should be? So obviously, me being me, I like to do more digging. And if you know me well enough by now, I like to take things really deep, and I want to get to know the deeper reasons as to why you're not moving forward. Because let's be honest, all of the systems out there work. Every single client acquisition system out there works if someone does the work. But that's the thing, it's like, if someone does the work. So it's like, well, why are you not doing the work? So obviously I get to the bottom of this, I'm like, all right, I need to find out why these people are not moving forward. And the one common problem and the one trend that I see all of these coaches running into is that they are the fucking problem. They are standing in their own way, and they are ultimately holding themselves back from achieving the success. They have essentially placed themselves in a self-imposed prison. So then I have to figure out, like, well, what's standing in these coaches' way? Like, why are they stopping themselves from achieving the success? It could be fear of failure. It could be imposter syndrome. It could be the fact that they feel like they're not worthy enough for the success. And ultimately what ends up happening is, because they end up with this like avoidant personality, they don't even want to confront these blocks. And then what happens, and this is what I used to do for a very long time, is they just stick their head in the sand. They complain and they moan about not doing the work and not getting the results. Like, they're aware of this stuff, but they just put their head in the sand and they don't do the work, which is the very thing that holds them back. So it's just this like self-fulfilling prophecy where they stick their head in the sand and they avoid the actual work, but then they feel annoyed at themselves and they complain and moan about not seeing the success that they ultimately could be having. It's like this crazy conundrum that people get stuck in. And the interesting thing is like, all of the success is out there waiting for you to go and grab it. All of the clients are there, all of the money that you want, all of the freedom that you want, all of the materialistic things that you want, everything is there ready for you to go and grab it if you go and grab it. And that's the hard part, is you have to spend time self-reflecting and analyzing why you keep getting stuck. Because if this is resonating with you and you feel like this is you, then there's a very good chance you are being avoidant to these things that you know are holding you back, which is generally yourself. So you're just avoiding yourself and your own mind. But the moment that you take control and the moment that you take extreme ownership over yourself and your own actions and thoughts and feelings is when you can gain control. But if you don't know what you're gaining control over, then this is the first step for you to overcome all of this bullshit that you keep telling yourself. You need to spend time reflecting on yourself on these blocks. Because if you don't remove these blocks and you don't squash them, you will never move forward and you will never be successful. It's not the system, it's not the strategy, it's not how pretty you are or the kind of camera that you have, it is you. If you do not get out of your own way, you will never move forward and you will never be successful in your business. And I know that's a really hard thing to hear, and it's almost like this bittersweet that you have to fucking hear, because if you don't get out of your own way, you will never move forward and you will never be successful. And then you'll continue to self-sabotage yourself and continue to feel down and like you're letting yourself down and everyone else down. But in reality, there is nothing standing in your way besides you. Because at the end of the day, my friend, no one is coming to save you. And I know you've probably heard that quote before, but it's so fucking true. And I really need you to understand that, because if this video is hitting you hard right now, then you have to get in your fucking head that no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to do the work for you. There's not going to be some waiter that comes in with a silver platter and they're like, hey, here you go. Here's your $10,000 a month coaching business. Here's your $20,000 a month, whatever the fuck you're aiming for. No one's going to come and deliver that to you. No one's coming to put that on your lap and they're like, here you go, Sally. Here's your business. No one's going to do that. Not your mom, not your dad, not your grandma, not your friends, not me. No one is coming to save you. We can give you the tools. And when I say we, us mentors, courses, the fucking internet, ChatGPT, you can get the tools. All the tools and resources are available for you, but no one is going to come and do that work for you. You have to ultimately get out of your own way, squash all of the limiting beliefs that you have in your mind, use the tools, and then the success will come. So if what I'm saying does resonate right now and it is hitting you, good, because you need to hear this video. You need to understand that you are the reason why you are not moving forward. You need to get clear on these limiting beliefs that you have. Go and stare at yourself in the fucking mirror. Sit down with a paper and pen and get clear on what these blocks are. Because once you squash those blocks, well, fuck, then you're going to be able to move forward. And only once you do this, then can you take massive fucking action. Then you know exactly, all right, cool, everything is squashed, there is no issues. The only thing I now have to do is just take massive fucking action. And once you do this, then you'll be successful. And if you don't do this, well then guess what? You probably won't be successful.